Hello everyone. In this session, I would like to discuss about how to handle the events in Angular. In Angular, how many types of events we are going to handle, I want to discuss. First of all, how many types of events we can handle in Angular means in JavaScript. In JavaScript, how many events are there? All events we can handle in Angular also. In JavaScript, how many events are there? If you want to check, just open your browser, right click on the browser, inspect it, then open a developer console window. If you come to my console, okay, here just type on. If you type, these many events are there in JavaScript. How many events are there in JavaScript? All the events we can handle in your Angular also. But I want to discuss few events. For example, take like a click. This is one event. See this helper, you can get it. On DVL click, double click event is there in JavaScript. All mouse events are there. These many mouse events are there in JavaScript. Okay, the next one is like the keyboard events are there. These many keyboard events are there in JavaScript. For example, text box events on blur is like one event. On focus is like one event. Like this, multiple events are there. Whatever the events are there in JavaScript, that events we can handle in Angular also. That is our discussion. So in Angular, how we can handle these all events I want to discuss. First of all, create one Angular application. I already created one Angular application. This is my Angular application. I created this one by using Angular CLI. And then I run this application by using ng server command. See, it's already running. Already running. Okay, now once it is compiled successfully, we can see the application output in your local machine with 4200 port number. So just open your application like this localhost 4200. 4200. Now it shows some content. Okay, this content loaded from my bootstrap component. Which one is the bootstrap component? In my app module, this is my bootstrap component. My component name is like app component. So this is my bootstrap component. The bootstrap component contains the content from where it's taking from my app.component.html. So from here it's taking. So this content only visible to the end user. Perfect. Okay, leave that one. Let's focus on the events. Now I want to handle one click event on button. So first of all, create the button. Create the button. This is the one. Now which event? Click event. In JavaScript, this is my click event or not. The same event you can use in Angular also. But in Angular, if you want to use this click event, just remove this on. Remove this on. Okay, in JavaScript, we are using like a on click. In Angular, we are going to use like what? Just remove this on and use click only. Here also on DVL click. Okay, remove this on, use DVL click in your Angular. Okay, remove this on, mouse down, you can use it. Key down, you can use it. Blur, you can use it. Focus, you can use it. Okay, so the event name is like a click. For which element you want me to bind a button? So syntactically, keep this event inside these braces. After that, you can write as usual your event handler method. My event handler method like function click, for example. This is the method. This method you have to find in your component. This view is belongs to this component, right? Here you can define that method. This is my method name. Just you can write like my console.log of function click call. Like this you can write it. Now if you come here, just see this. Right click, inspect it. Go to my console. Just click on this one. Click on this one. Function click called. Click again. Function click called again or not. Not only this event, for example, double click event if you want. Just copy DVL click. Okay, just remove this on. Just place your DVL click. DVL click. Now my event has to trigger for what? Double click. You have to click 2 times on my button. Now see this. If I click 1 time, nothing is happening. 2 times, yes. 2 times, yes. 2 times, yes. This is the way we can handle click and double click events. Okay, now I want to handle some mouse events also. Some mouse events also. I already told you one of the mouse event is like what? Okay, mouse over or something. Now come here on mouse over. These all are like a JavaScript events. Mouse over. This is my mouse over. On you can remove. Just take this one, this spot. Okay, for which element? On H1 element, if you hover your mouse, then that time I want to perform some operation. So that function mouse over, this is my handler method. Where this handler method you have to define, copy this one and go to your component. Just you can define this method here, define this method here. Now you can put some message for our purpose, for our understanding purpose. Just you can keep this message. Now if you see this, go to my app, go to my app. If I put my cursor, see this mouse over called or not. If I put my cursor, my mouse, okay, called or not, see this called. Okay, same like this, some of the text box events also there. Okay, on blur, text box event, on focus, on text box event or not. Okay, now if you want to handle this event on my text box, the name should be what? Blur, not on. Okay, only blur. So you can take one text box simply. You can take one text box. My event name is what? On blur or on focus, your wish. On focus is going to trigger if you put your cursor on your text box, then this event is going to trigger. On focus, on focus. Just you can write like this. Now function focus, focus, this is your handler method. So this handler method where you have to define inside your component, this is your respected component for this particular view or not. This is my focus, this is my focus. Now say this on focus. Done. Now come here, can you check it, can you check it? Now go to your page. If I put my cursor here, that means focused. See, function focused, called or not. If I put it again, called or not. Okay, blur also I want to handle. So my blur event is what here? On blur is my event. Say this on blur is my event name or not. So on I don't want, just copy this one, just copy this one, just paste here itself. That means you can handle two events on the same element or not. Yes, you can handle it, no problem at all. Now this on blur also I want to handle in my component. So this is my on blur, and just you can write like my console.log of function on blur called. Now the focus and blur both events we bind for same text box or not. Now come here, if I put the cursor, focus trigger. If I come out, my blur called or not. Okay, this is the way we can handle all the events. Now think, I want to handle one keyboard event, key up event. I want to handle this event. If you want to handle this event, the event name is what? Key up. This key up event I want to bind. I want to bind for one element. But is there any code is there which is related to keyboard, which is related to keyboard? That code is not there. That means physically that element is not available to bind your event or not. If element not available physically, then that time how we can handle that type of events, how we can handle that type of events. Okay, I want to give some examples, that type of events. Keyboard events, all keyboard events are going to trigger on your window or not. If you perform some operation on my keyboard, see this on my page, it's something is happened or not. Okay, the next event is like a scroll, that is also focused, that is also like what? Perform some operation on your window or not. The next one is like resizing the window. These all events physically elements are not available to bind. Okay, so that these events we can bind by using window. By using on window, we are going to bind all these events. So if the element physically available, I can write the code like this. If the element physically not available, keyboard not there, resize not there, okay, the next one scroll not there, scroll element is not there, then how we can handle that type of events? Means there has one decorator is there. What the decorator name is like a host listener is the decorator. Host listener is the decorator. So first of all, on okay function key up event I want to handle. Key up event I want to handle. So that just you can write like my console.log of function key up event called. Okay, if the method is if that particular element is there like this one element is there, I can handle by I can bind that function click event to that particular event, and that event we can bind to that particular element. But here to add this function key up, first of all element physically not available, to whom I have to add it. Okay, not available, then that time by using host listener decorator, okay, that is available where inside my Angular code. Okay, this listener you have to pass where you want me to bind this event on window. The event name is like what? The event name is like what? My event name is like on key up or key down or key press. Okay, as usual, just avoid it on. Just you can place your key up. That's it. Now, if you perform any key up operation, this method will fall. Now come here. Can you check it? First of all, I want the virtual keyboard. I want to show. Now come here. Now come here. Okay, so this. Now if I hover mouse over called, if I double click on this one, this is called and focus and blur called. Now if I put my cursor, if I put my mouse here, if I press any key and leave that one, see this, my key of called or not. See this, key of called or not, like this, like this. My key up event is going to work. When you can go with the host listener means that element physically not available. Okay, that time if you want to bind an event on window. Okay, so we can go with the host listener. The next thing is I want to discuss about event object. Whenever you trigger an event object, if you want to know something about an event, then that time you can pass one event object as a argument. This event object tells something about your event. This event is triggered on which element. Okay, that type of things you can get it. So once the event call this event handler by passing one event object as an argument, you should have to handle it. So how we can handle it? Okay, like a argument. Now come here, my console.log of this you can write like event. Okay, that event you can use. That event you can use to get some information about the event. If I click on this one, now see this. This is my event or not. Okay, now if it is physically available, you can pass the event as an argument. But here in this case, that is not physically available. Okay, to pass. Okay, then how we can pass an event object means my second argument you can take like this. Okay, like this. That event you can get it. In this guy, the host listener is going to pass that event to my function key up. Okay, here you can write like my console dot log of just you can print that event. Now, if you see this one, if you come here, if I put this one, so this, my keyboard event, my function key of call, my keyboard event also printed or not. That keyboard event printed from where? That is printed from this particular event object or not. This is the way we can handle the events in Angular. Thanks guys. Thanks for watching.